Is this thing on? Hey YouTube, this is Gene. I'm coming back for the second time. I think you guys saw my Fat Bob video, how to make it comfortable, my 2021. And for those of you that gave me likes and comments, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I hope it helped most of all, for those that didn't. For anybody that watched it, I hope you got some helpful information. So that's the reason I'm back. Got a situation here with my 2021 Fat Bob. The transmission failed at 1,150 miles, 1,150 miles. The primary had been whining and took it to the dealer, and they could not. They said it was normal, it was within limits. So they had it for a week, did nothing, and so a few days later, it got much worse. It spun the big double bearings. And if you look across the web, that's pretty common in the transmission. So they had to replace the transmission. 1,150 miles, that is unbelievable. And I'm not a hot rodder. I mean, I like to go fast in a straight line, but I don't do hard starts. I don't do wheelies. I don't do burnouts. I don't do any of that. I don't abuse any of my equipment. I never have. So that's pretty bad. Broke it in real easy, super easy. So yeah, pretty bad. As it turns out, that is a common thing. And if you do your research across the web, there's an automatic tensioner on these things that Harley's gone to. And it, under acceleration, the bottom of the primary chain, of course it goes like this or something like that. Top stays tight under acceleration. The bottom of the chain, when you torque it, bows up temporarily under acceleration. And when you let off, it comes back down. Well, the tensioner's on the bottom, and as you torque it, the chain goes up and the tensioner follows it because it thinks it's loose. Problem is, it's a ratcheting tensioner. So it's only a one-way tensioner, tighten only. So if it tightens, it cannot mechanically go back down. So it goes tight and stays tight. So that's bad because you're supposed to have between 5/8 and 7/8 play in the chain. Well, mine, when I took it apart, after they replaced my transmission, rode it home 45 miles, and it was whining again. Not as bad, but it's whining again. I pulled the case, primary case, and the chain was tighter than a banjo string, just from the torque of the M8s, and mine's a 114. And I didn't get on it. I mean, just normal riding, nothing crazy. So as it turns out, the M8s are really bad about it. That's when they really have had a lot of problems. And the service manager says that they all do it, and especially a bagger. Mine's 200 or 300 pounds lighter than a bagger, so you can imagine a bagger, you've got to give it more throttle to get it going, especially with two up. So it's not something that the service department admits. They want to make you happy and they want to get you out of there, and they'll do whatever it takes to get you out. But if you talk to the parts department like I did, they spill the beans. And they say absolutely, they replace motors and transmissions all the time. Because as that chain tightens, it puts sideways lateral tension on the crankshaft and on the tranny, and it's not built for the side loads, like that constant side loads, and it burns up the bearings and damages parts. So they're all aware of it. And they change parts all the time by their own admission. Why in the world they don't change it, I don't know. The only thing I can come up with is things go bad, the warranty goes out, they know it's going to go bad, now it's on you to fix it. And if you pay a lot of money for a bike, you're probably going to fix it. And if you don't, you sell it, well then they're going to fix it. Either way, they're going to get paid. So anyway, don't know, but that's my personal opinion. But anyway, so I went on a mission to find a manual adjuster. And so I'll spare you the details, make this short. The manual adjusters were the commonplace since Harley's existence. Been on there for, I don't know, 60 years, 70 years, whatever, 80 years, I don't know how long. Long time. Till they went to the automatic tensioner. Never had a problem. So anyway, went to a manual, looked at all of them, and the Baker was highly recommended, and I'm going to make another video on that. So they don't make one for a 21. Anything above 17 and up, they don't make it. So I'll make another video concerning that, because that's a fiasco in itself. Anyway, so I got to looking, and there's a company called PSR, and it looked very stout, very good-looking piece. I could only find one review on it on the web, and it was with eBay. And it went something like this. It was great, great quality piece. Too bad it didn't work because it made the primary scream very loud whine. Made it very loud. So you sent it back. So I looked up the company and I called, and a gentleman named Mr. Charlie answered his cell phone. He was driving. It turns out he's been with the company 16 years. And so I introduced myself, and we ended up having probably a 20-minute conversation. And I asked him a lot of detailed information about the tensioner, and said I was concerned because I only found one review that was not good. And he immediately said that review was correct. It was absolutely correct. He went on to explain that that was a small batch of, very small batch of tensioners where they were trying a different material. And he said it was unbelievable. It made the chain scream because of the type of material it was. It made it very loud. He said we quickly found that defect, fixed it. Existing customers, we got that, we replaced them. And he said that it's no longer an issue. And so anyway, he went on to give me his cell phone number and said, anything you need, any questions, any assistance I can do, day or night, don't hesitate to call me. And I've actually called him twice since then, and he's not kidding. So I installed a manual tensioner. I installed that PSR tensioner, in fact. And I wish I had it to show you, but I've already done it. But here's the box, outstanding packaging. And that is the tensioner. And it's psr-.com. And here is the part number. See if that'll, I think you can see that. So anyway, I bought that, and a couple of days later had it in the mail, sent it priority mail, installed it. Flawless, beautiful piece, one piece aluminum. Very simple, very strong. I adjusted it to 5/8, and of course, look at the different videos. That's on the tight side. And what you want to do is rotate it with you need a T70 Torx socket on your compensator. And as you turn it, take your other hand and go to the top of the chain and just move it up and down constantly as it rotates. Just take a different section, try it, move it, try it again, and it'll be very obvious. You'll find an area that's much tighter than the rest. The tight section is the one that you adjust, not the loose. You find the tightest section and you set that to between 5/8 and 7/8. So I set it to 5/8. Well, pretty amazing difference. I made a few notes so I wouldn't forget. So the shifting is 50 to 60% easier, and it's quite dramatic. I'm actually shifting into neutral. I've done it several times, and I never have on this bike before. The shifts on this thing are pretty stout. You go into first gear, clunk. It's a pretty good clunk, and usually you have to fight a little bit to find neutral. You got to get it just right. Not once have I shifted it in neutral. Since I put this manual tensioner on, I've adjusted into it a half a dozen times. You think it's the next gear, and it falls into neutral, and then and you go up into second. That's how much tension is off of it. It's dramatic. When you downshift, when you downshift a gear and let the clutch out, before it was like an emergency brake. You'd let the clutch out and it'd drag you, each gear, it'd drag you way down pretty good. And I don't mean driving too fast or anything, just a normal downshift to a light. It was pretty dramatic deceleration. Not anymore. It coasts. You let the clutch out, it catches, but the bike freewheels versus being held down and in a bind is the best way I could probably describe it. And of course, because of the less drag, it feels a lot spunkier. It's spunky anyway, but it's pretty noticeable. There's some free horsepower there from the drag reduction. So that's all great stuff. And I think I said the noise is probably about 60% quieter. So the whine. So hopefully there's no other problems. But it was a pretty dramatic difference. So I think I paid $200 for it, and I'll leave a link to the facility or to the part in the description. So, but I cannot stress enough how this ticking time bomb, this automatic adjuster from Harley, is a guaranteed destruction. Some are sooner than later, but it's certainly going to do damage. And that's pretty sad in my opinion. But this is a fix. So I found out the hard way. Fortunately, it only cost me time and aggravation and then, of course, this manual adjuster. But that's well worth it. I'll do that any day. So anyway, I think that's all I've got. But listen, thank y'all very much. I hope this helps. And God bless y'all. Y'all have a good day. Bye.